HSBC, Citibank, JP Morgan, BNP Paribas. These are the sort of customers that we work with, and data automation is what we do for them. So Dan and I are here to talk you through WSI, who we are, what we do, and how we can help you reduce costs, drive SDP, and become a market leader with data automation. Now, I thought a good place to start would be, who are WSI? So we're a 13-year-old software products business with one aim, and that's to put industry-leading software solutions in the hands of our customers, to put them in the hands of the operations teams within those organizations so they can control their own data and their own processes. So we target financial services organizations with our product suite, which is called Acceptor. Now, there's 4 core products that sit within the Acceptor product suite. The first is called Data Hub. Now, if you have teams of people rekeying data or focusing in on PDFs or faxes and processing the information manually, or you have processes that are based on Excel macros or Access databases, then Data Hub is the product you need. Data Hub is designed to completely remove these sorts of manual and risky tasks, driving STP and overall reducing operational risk within the organizations that we work with. Now, in a moment or two, Dan's going to run you through the demonstration of Data Hub. The second product we have is called Reconciliation Hub. Now, Recon Hub is perfectly suited to situations where an industry-leading or an industry-standard reconciliation solution exists within a bank, but there's still a high number of reconciliations that are being performed either manually or, again, through spreadsheets or macros. So the software is perfectly suited to situations where, let's say, data inputs or the reconciliation rules are subject to frequent change, making them unsuitable for these industry-standard solutions. Now, we have a third product, which is called Tax Hub. So you can see there's a bit of a consistency with the naming convention there. And what that does is it offers relief at source and withholding in both the global custody and sub-custody markets. The biggest users we have of that product at the moment are Northern Trust and HSBC. Now, the fourth and most recent product that we've brought into the Acceptor product suite is called Operations Hub. Now, what that offers is configurable workflow capabilities as well as document generation and automated matching. And a classic use case for that product would be within the OTC confirmations market, where the product is being used to drive SDP in what would traditionally be a manual or paper-driven process. So over the last 13 years, with the product suite we've amassed a client base of approximately 35 customers, and we have 60+ deployments globally. Now, some of the most recent client wins we have include Citco Fund Services, Bank of New York Mellon, and Glencore. So what I'm going to do now is pass you over to Dan, who's going to bring you through how Data Hub works.
Thank you, James, and good afternoon, everyone. So what I want to do in the next 4 minutes is give you a very quick demonstration of a couple of aspects of Data Hub, and in particular focusing on how Data Hub empowers end users within financial organizations to define and manage business rules that affect the data that they process. So it eliminates the need for manual intervention, and it also removes the need for technology groups to be involved in the definition and maintenance of those business rules. So what we have on the screen here is an example of one of these configuration screens. This one happens to be the definition of data capture from a PDF, traditionally a very difficult thing to automate, but with the Acceptor product, all of the tools to allow you to do that are put into your hands. You define those rules once, and then they'll be automated until that rule set needs to change, until the format changes, at which point operational users who have responsibility for that data capture can respond very rapidly without the need to fall back to manual intervention in that process. So this involves simply defining the region where we're going to capture data from this input, providing business meaningful definitions for the data points that are being extracted from that input. We have an extensive enrichment capability in the software to link to reference data, provide validation, calculations, and so on. And we also have extensive capabilities around exception management, and where breaks are identified in the process through these business rules, the intervention that's required to allow users to sort that out. So there's workflow capabilities in the software. And just give you a quick flavor for what that looks like. If I move to this activity dashboard, we can see in the software a complete history of everything that's been processed, and I can drill down to see the detail behind those, including breakdown of any exceptions that have occurred and what needs to be done to sort those out. And at a more detailed data level, we can capture individual data transactions in a fully secure, auditable environment, again, providing operational users with the tools that they need to be able to resolve exceptions and deal with those situations where data does require some kind of manual intervention to get through the process. So it's all about automation. It's all about minimizing manual input. And I'll pass back to James to talk through one or two use cases for the software.
Yep. Thanks, Dan. Okay, so just as we're closing out, I thought it would make sense to describe a common use case that we have with the software, and that is in the manual pricing world. So what the software is designed to do is scrape pricing information out of broker statements that are traditionally sent in a multitude of data formats. Now, prior to the implementation of Acceptor, what we found is these processes are driven by spreadsheets with high numbers of FTEs managing the process. But post-implementation, it's the operations teams that now configure and manage Acceptor, but they're focused on a more value-added activities such as exception management, so investigating and repairing exceptions as they fall due. So what the software is doing is comparing the current day's price versus the previous day's price against a predefined tolerance. So exceptions, as I've mentioned before, will be held for investigation by members of the operations team. Now, on top of that, we can provide, as Dana showed you, dashboarding and reporting capabilities to produce management information. In the most recent implementation of this use case, we managed to achieve an FTE reallocation of 66% within that team. So in the final closing moments, I thought it'd be worth noting that as an organization, we are growing rapidly. Revenue growth was above 50% last year, and we're targeting a similar growth again this year. And as a result, we've opened up an office in Asia recently, and we'll be opening up a further 2 in North America by the end of Q1. So we'd be happy to talk to everybody at our booth in a few moments' time. Thank you very much.